shouting free Palestine, we won't stop shouting end the colony, end this genocide that's happening on this continent. My friends, it's never easy to come out, and it's particularly hard to come out after yet another massacre. A safe area, a place we were told to come. A place we were told to go, to gather, to be safe. They bomb us when we're eating, they bomb us when we're sleeping, they bomb us when we're praying, they bomb us non-stop, and nobody will condemn. Shame! Well, we're going to condemn, we condemn our government. Shame! We're all too ready to condemn Russia's bombing of a Ukrainian hospital. And we should condemn that. But where is the language of equivalence? Where is the language of humanity for our innocent men, women and children? Shame! My friends, I'm joined today by Jamila and Matt from Ausland. A big round of applause for our dear as a big shout out to our marshals. If you've ever marshaled before, please come along and help them. We need them. All that's left now is the true believers, so thank you all very, very much. Genocides don't happen in a vacuum. They don't happen in a vacuum. They happen when people are othered and dehumanised. And during the week we have to remember that it's 19 years since the Bosnian genocide. Over several days, over 8,000 Muslim men were systematically murdered, and thousands of women and children were forcibly displaced. We won't forget them. We won't forget the Rwandan massacre, and we will not forget the genocide in Gaza. And we're going to make it an issue in every space we can. I want to remind you all the premise of why we march. We march for freedom. We march in an anti-colonial, anti-racist space with love for all. There is no room for hate amongst us. And we march for our Indigenous brothers and sisters here. We march for the Kanakis, the Sudanese, the West Saharans, the West Papuans. We march for Aotearoa, Turtle Island, for every Indigenous people. Because this always was and always will be. Palestinian, this will always be for Aboriginals. And our black brothers and sisters, we fight with you. Our fight is your fight. You've got to stop. Our first speaker is Ali Shahid, who's an electrician and a founder of South Australia. He was born in South Africa. He suffered racism both there and here. Ali has worked for campaigns and done a full-time job with charitable work. Ali dedicates spare time to raise his funds for Gaza. You'll see his tent down there. He's going to give you an important announcement. Come on, Ali, where are you? Ali!
My name is Ali. I'm the founder of Free Palestine Fundraiser Australia. Today we celebrate an incredible milestone. When I registered my charity in January, I set an ambitious goal to donate $50,000 to Gaza by the 30th of June. I'm overjoyed and deeply moved to announce that we've achieved this goal. Our journey has been challenging and deeply personal. Multiple banks rejected us due to our charity name, Gaza Fundraiser Inc., and our trading name, Free Palestine Fundraiser Australia. Commonwealth Bank put us through an exhaustive application process, only to freeze our account without any warning. It took over 3 weeks to regain access to my money as they were concerned about potential links to terrorist organisations. ANZ, Westpac, Bank of Melbourne and ING all rejected me as well, but I refused to change our name, staying true to our mission. Finally, Bendigo Bank believed in us, allowing us to move forward in April. This experience only strengthened my determination. It inspired me to create a signature umbrella with the message, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Every obstacle we faced reminded me of the far greater challenges faced by those in Gaza. Your generosity and commitment to this cause have been deeply overwhelming. Each contribution, no matter the size, has been a testament for your compassion and support. Together, we showed what we can achieve when we unite for a cause greater than ourselves. At our last Sunday rally, we lit up the city with over 200 Palestinian flags and balloons in celebration of our achievements. It was a powerful display of unity, a visual representation for our support for the people of Gaza. These rallies are crucial. They change the narrative. They pressure our government to take action, and they show the world that we stand with Palestine. When you buy our merchandise, you're not just donating towards aid in Gaza. You're representing Palestine. You're spreading awareness and creating a ripple effect. Each person who sees our message becomes a potential ally in our cause. This is how we change minds, influence policy, and make a real difference. As we celebrate this achievement, I want us all to remember why we are here. Every day, we witness an unfolding tragedy in Gaza. We see children, mothers, fathers, and grandparents facing unimaginable horrors. They're not just statistics on news reports. They're real people with hopes, dreams, and lives that matter. I chose to focus our efforts on those who can't leave, those trapped by a lack of paperwork, funds, aid, or other overwhelming obstacles. While others help those who can escape, we stand with those who have no choice but to stay. They're not just waiting to die, they're struggling to survive. They're facing starvation and a constant danger. Every time we see a report from Gaza, it tears at our hearts. We feel helpless watching a genocide unfold before our eyes. We can't look away, even though the pain of witnessing such horrors are unbearable. But we refuse to be silent. We refuse to let the world forget. Your support, your donations, your care, it all sends a powerful message to the people of Gaza. It tells them they are not forgotten. It tells them that across the world there are people who see them, who value their lives, and who are fighting for them. When I think of the children in Gaza, dreaming of the future while bombs fall around them, or parents trying to find food for their family in the rubble, I'm overwhelmed with emotion. But I'm also filled with determination because of all of you, because of all of us here. We've been able to send help. We've been able to send hope. To the people of Gaza, we see you, we hear you, we stand with you, and we will not stop fighting for you.
Ali, and that's his tent down there, so make sure you get along and support. Now, my friends, every week, 40 weeks in a row, you've come out and it's been brilliant. For 40 weeks, we've been harassed. For 40 weeks, we've been troubled. If we do get attacked, please don't react. Please don't react. Ignore them. Let the marshals deal with it. Let the police deal with it. We just had an incident here and some fantastic crews what they needed to do, but somebody threw some water at that person. We don't need to be doing that stuff. Do not react to Zionists. Ignore them. Ignore them like you should in your comments. Ignore them like you should here. They don't matter. They will be consigned to the dustbin of history. Ignore Zionists always. Now, my friends, it's been NAIDOC week, another week where we celebrate Indigenous culture while still imprisoning Indigenous people, while still killing Indigenous people, while still tearing their children away from their families and their culture and their lands, while we still imprison and murder Indigenous people. We had a chance to celebrate Indigenous culture, but we'll go back to the situation normal in a day from now. Shame on this colony. And we talk about the genocide in Gaza. We should not forget ground zero here, the genocide that is happening here, that continues to rain down on our black brothers and sisters. Shame. I have been uplifted for years. I would go around our rallies and I'd see the Australian flag and I'd go up to our community and say, look, I know you want to belong. I know you feel that waving the Australian flag might make a racist white person think that you're acceptable. But that is the coloniser's flag. It does not belong here. It does not belong here. And since October 7, there's been no coloniser flag. We well know what it's like to be cleansed from your land, murdered, dehumanised, taken away from opportunities for advancement, stolen, robbed, and we will not let it happen on our watch. We will stand in allyship with our black brothers and sisters. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Always was. Always was. Aboriginal land. We're going to be joined by my dear sister, Senator Lydia Thorpe, who's a Senator representing the Black Culture Movement in the federal parliament. She spent her life advocating for truth, treaty, and upholding the sovereignty of First Peoples in this country and the rights of First People all over the world. A big round of applause for Senator Lydia Thorpe.
Incredible turnout, incredible pressure, incredible resistance. We know what this is like. As black fellas in this country, we know what it's like to be targeted by the coloniser every minute of every day. And as soon as we step one foot wrong, like Brother said, their boot is on our neck. We become the perpetrator. We become the enemy for standing up against a genocide, for standing up against an injustice. Look at Senator Payman and how she was treated every day when she crossed that floor. Shame. And not just shame on Labor being complicit and racist, but shame on the opposition in what they were saying at that time that belittled her, that discriminated against her and made her feel that small and by herself in that place. I know what that feels like. And they attack the women, the black women, the women of colour. They come for us for standing up for our people and standing up against genocide. We are the easy target. But I can tell you now, with Senator Payman on the crossbench, we are going to hold them all to account. We are inciting violence. So the whole parliament voted down being able to say what we say here every single week. It may shut down those that are complicit, but it won't shut me down and it won't shut Senator Payman down. We will always dream from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, and we'll stand up for every student at every university and everywhere else they are being denied their justice to stand up for free speech, to stand up against genocide. And so to all those students who are being suspended from your universities, come and see me. I'll come stand with you. I will write a letter to that university and I will call them out for being complicit. Every single day that parliament sits, they are shutting down free speech, they are shutting down anybody who stands up for Palestine. And I just want to say to those people who made it on the top of the building in Parliament, I had the Liberal senators coming and showing me on the phone in the chamber saying, and look at this video, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing! That's amazing! And that gave me and Senator Payman and just a couple of others in that place strength to keep going, and that's why we turn up. And NAIDOC is not about reconciliation and appeasing to the white people. NAIDOC comes from a day of protest, and we have to continue to keep the pressure on, come out every week, condemn the universities, condemn the Labor Party, and every other fascist or Zionist that is complicit in genocide in this country and in Palestine.
Senator Lydia It's people like Senator Thorpe, people like our sister Lydia who give hope. Unconquered, unbroken, unapologetic. Always was, always will be. Always was, always will be. You can't defeat Indigenous people. You can't defeat Indigenous people. Our strength is from our morality. It comes from the soil our ancestors tended for millennia. Unbroken and unconquered. Thank you, Lydia. My friends, during the week there's a BDS and Building Solidarity Conference. Free Palestine Melbourne's passing these around. If you can get along, please do so. Two of our most wonderful allies, Dr. Sarah Saleh, you might have heard her name during the week. She worked at the Human Rights Commission. At the Human Rights Commission, they couldn't comment about one of their employees who was part of the Zionist 600. Let's find a way to get Antoinette Latouche sacked. Let's find a way to get Clem Ford losing a book deal. Let's find a way to get people to be deplatformed to lose their jobs. The Human Rights Commission couldn't comment on that. But the minute that Sarah resigned, they went to a piece of the empire sycophant of Western imperialism, Richard Hadley, and told him that she'd resigned so he could take the credit for her resignation. Shame! As we say, we've got a famous Palestinian dish, matloubeh. We're flipping it over. Stay tuned for what Sarah's going to flip on their asses. Stay tuned. So this is Wednesday the 17th of July at RMIT. Dr. Sarah Saleh and one of our fiercest, staunchest supporters, Dr. Nick Reamer. Get along to that, they'll be passing it around. Make sure you get along to that if you can. My friends, continuing with our Indigenous theme, our dearest and longest Indigenous supporter, a man who doesn't need any introduction, a man who has fought with every fibre of his body for Indigenous Indigenous rights here and for free people all over the world. Professor Uncle Gary Foley is an activist his entire life. Uncle Gary is an academic, a writer, an actor, and a hero. A hero! Not just for his people, but for all people, for Palestinians and every oppressed people. Big round of applause for Uncle Gary!
G'day. That means g'day. You're looking at an old bloke who's gone blind. I can't read and write anymore. I've gone deaf. I got 1 foot in the grave, but I'm still out here every Sunday. I'm still out here every Sunday because you're out here every Sunday. And that's important. A long time ago, 60 years ago, a famous Jewish poet wrote these words. How many deaths will it take till we know that too many people have died? The answer, my friends, it's not blowing in the wind. The answer rests within each and every one of us here today. It is up to us to mobilise, to educate the Australian people as to why they should be here with us. Everyone here should next week ensure that 10 of your friends, family or acquaintances who aren't coming, they should join you here next week. Build up this crowd. That's important because it's been shown at other times in history that people power can force change. It's clear. It's clear in Australia today. I mean, Melbourne's a city of a few million people, right? There's not enough of us here. It's important to educate and mobilise the rest of Australia. It shouldn't be too difficult. All one ought to be able to do is appeal to people's simple humanity. How can anybody stand by whilst what is going on in Gaza? How can anyone? And if you feel that that's unjust, tell your friends, then join us. Join us here. Remember that about 50 years ago, mass mobilisation in the streets of Australia, the capital cities, brought back troops from Vietnam. Made Australia think about the issues involved in Vietnam. The unjust war that Australians were participating in then. The mainstream media, they ain't here, they ain't reporting this, so what's new? But back in the day, if you got a big enough crowd and you made enough noise and you made people listen, the mainstream media had to come along. It's all we're seeing today in the actions of the Australian Labor Party and your mainstream media is the classic racist hypocrisy that's always been there. We shouldn't see that as an obstacle, we should see it as a challenge to be overcome. All I'm saying is next week, let's get 3 times as many people in. Let's keep doing it every week.
Uncle Gary Foley! I can remember Uncle Gary speaking when I was a kid. I remember him speaking as a kid. He has given every ounce of his body, every fibre and piece of DNA to fight for his people, and he's still here every week. When you go home, speak to your family. This is not normal. This is not normal. What we are seeing is the new normal if we let them get away with it. Each and every one of you, not 40 weeks, not 400 weeks, 4,000, 40,000 weeks. We have to keep coming, keep shouting, keep yelling, keep fighting for freedom. My friends, you've got to know, and I'm going to speak about it at the end. The job is to conquer Palestine, because then they can conquer everyone. We cannot fail Palestine. They won't let you down. Don't you let them down. Don't you let them down. This week, as Uncle Gary said, get onto everyone, use your WhatsApps, share the Instagram posts, get everybody here next week, please. Next up, my favourite adopted Palestinian. You watch it? He's actually Egyptian, but he's too good to be Egyptian. He's Palestinian. Mr. Adel Salman is the president of the Islamic Council Victoria. Adel's commitment to human rights and justice is an exemplar not just for his community, but for everyone. A man who stood up, stands up and fights out for justice and has put himself at the forefront for speaking up for Palestinians. One of my dearest friends and one of my personal heroes. Please welcome Adel Salman!
Well, Nasser always stuns me with his beautiful instructions. I agree with you on one thing. Not that I'm too good to be Egyptian, but I am proud to be Palestinian, and if I'm adopted Palestinian, I have been asked before because I've given speeches and people have seen me advocating for Palestine. Are you Palestinian? My standard response, I wish I was. I wish I was. Free Palestine. Louder, folks. Free Palestine. Louder. Free Palestine. Friends, what can we say that has already been said? The sheer horror, the breathtaking hypocrisy, and the sickening complicity is for everyone to see, for everyone to condemn, and for everyone to become depressed about. But we mustn't despair. The Palestinians show us what steadfastness in the face of catastrophe looks like, what hope in the face of utter destruction sounds like, and what honour in the face of callous depravity feels like. The Palestinian heart and mind are not bowed, and it will surely follow that Palestine will be free. Free Palestine! Friends, I want to talk about three things today. One, defeating Israel. Yes, that deserves an applause, surely. Two, honouring the martyrs. And three, living in a post-October 7 world. Let's start with defeating Israel. Clearly, I'm not talking about militarily. Israel is one of the strongest military forces in the world. has one of the largest nuclear arsenals in the world. Shame, shame on all of those throughout the last century and this century that have made that possible, who have armed Israel, given it the technology, and given it the cover. Shame. So I am not talking militarily. I'm talking about in the way in which Israel can be defeated, in the area they fear the most, in the area that is their weakest point, their underbelly, and that is isolation. That's the way we can defeat Israel. If you look at the world map, the vast majority of the global south stands resolutely in support of Palestine and Palestinians. Yes. If you look at the global north, being those rich, Western, typically white nations, some of them have come out in support of Palestine, but the majority still remain resolutely supporting the occupiers, the Zionist regime. Shame. And first and foremost amongst them, the United States, who arm Israel, fund Israel, provide it with diplomatic immunity. But it's not just the United States, it's the other Western nations, including our country, Australia. Shame. Shame on Australia's complicity in the genocide in Gaza. Shame. Shame on Australia. Australia, the land of the fair go, the land of welcoming migrants and refugees. Shame on Australia for continuing to support a genocidal apartheid regime in Israel. Shame. Recognising Palestine, as 146 plus nations have done already, including some countries in the global north, most recently Spain, Ireland, Finland, they've all recognised Palestine. Yeah, congratulations to them. And we should absolutely clap and support and cheer because the tide is turning. Why is recognising Palestine so important? It is of huge symbolic and moral value. When the world community lines up and says, we recognise Palestine, that means we are no longer accepting the status quo. We are no longer accepting occupation and apartheid, and we are no longer accepting genocide. How can Australia not recognise Palestine? We heard the ministers and the Prime Minister included in response to the brave, courageous Senator Fatima Payman, who actually voted for the Senate recognition of Palestine. What was the response of the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister? We'll do that when the time is right, when the conditions are right, when it suits us, as part of a peace process. Well, we all know, friends, that that is a lie and a fallacy. Shame on them. Shame on them. They think we're idiots. They think we're idiots. A peace process? What peace process? There is no peace process. There is a genocide going on in front of the whole world, and they talk about a peace process. If ever there was a time to take a clear stand internationally and recognise Palestine, surely now is the time. Friends, we must honour the martyrs. How do we do that? We must continue to bear witness. We must continue to tell their stories. We must mention them by name. We must tell their stories. We must honour every opportunity we have to honour the martyrs that have died, whether the number is 40,000 or 400,000. They all sacrificed lives for the cause of a free Palestine, and our job is to honour them, and they will be honoured in this world and in the next. And surely, a really important way in which we honour the martyrs is to maintain the fight. We must maintain the fight. Losing our momentum, becoming complacent, will dishonour their memories, dishonour the cause that they have given their lives for. We must continue the fight. We must, friends, we must continue this fight. As Nasser mentioned, whether it's 40 weeks, 400 weeks, 4,000 weeks, we must continue to protest until Palestine is free. Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Finally, my friends, I want to talk about living in a post-October 7th world. I think you would all agree that the world will never return to what it was on October the 6th. There is a real eerie corollary, particularly for Muslim Australians, with post-September 11th. Many Muslims have been born after September 11th, so don't know, but I'm a bit older, and I remember what the world was like before September 11th. And I know that it fundamentally changed the narrative about Muslims and Islam. It totally securitized the Muslim identity and existence. But it also took away a lot of the civil liberties of all of us, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim. So the world fundamentally changed after September 11th. The world has changed after October the 7th. We must control the narrative, my friends. We must control the narrative. This is where the battle will be, in controlling the narrative. The fallacies, the myths of Israel's founding. A land with no people for a people with no land. The fundamental, the founding myth of Israel. This is not to deny Jewish connection with Palestine. That is clear, that's historic. There's no one that will deny that. But it is to say that the Palestinians are indigenous to this land. They've been there for thousands of years. They are a Semitic people, the Palestinians. The vast majority of Israelis who are there now have not come from Palestine, they've come from other places. The Palestinians are indigenous to Palestine, and their connection to Palestine remains and will remain forever. We must control that narrative, friends. So that's why when they attack our symbol, light, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. We must reject that. We know what that means. Let's not allow them to tell us what that means. We must fight to maintain our ability to call for a free Palestine. We cannot accept the Zionist narrative which positions the Israelis and Zionists as victims. As victims, when in fact they are the oppressors, they have always been the oppressors, and they will continue to be oppressors until Palestine is free. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
There's Adel man, everybody. Big shout out for Adel! And thank you to the Islamic Council Victoria for all your stewardship and allyship. Thank you, Adel. Don't forget the BDS conference on Wednesday. If you've ever marshalled before, please get along and try and help everybody. Help the marshals, I mean. The Islamic Museum, I think it's in Thornbury, they've got a Palestine Through Time exhibition. So if you're free and want to get along to that, please go along to that. My friends, I want to reiterate this space is anti-colonial and anti-racist. There is every type of human being here, and this is the world we're trying to create, a world without hate. A world where Jews march with Muslims, march with Christians, march with atheists, Sikhs, Hindus, there's no patriarchy, there's no Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, no homophobia, that we are all human beings and we're all perfect. Hold that fundamental dear to you because that's what we need for all of us for tomorrow. That's the difference between our movement, a movement of inclusion, and their movement, a movement of supremacy, hate, and exclusion. Yeah, hold that true to yourself. As Adam was saying, what we can do is keep showing up, keep boycotting. Starbucks has lost $12 billion since October 3rd. Don't go to Starbucks, don't go to McDonald's, go to the BTS website, have a look at those products it should be not doing. Don't buy Puma, don't buy Hewlett Packard. Intel has not moving forward with a $15 billion project in Israel. Pulled out. 46,000 businesses have closed in Israel. Over 500,000 Israelis have left Israel. As Australia, this continent doesn't need anyone. This continent doesn't need anyone. We are net energy exporters, net food exporters. We import TVs because we don't make them here. But we don't need anyone. Israel is the absolute opposite of Australia. Israel needs the world. So we need to isolate it, boycott it, divest from it, sanction it. And that's what our government's going to be doing. You're going to get a chance to vote soon. You're going to get a chance to vote soon. I don't know when the federal one will happen. But the next one's in October as our councils. So you will meet your council people, they'll not door knock or you'll get something in your mailbox. Ask those people that want your vote if they will commit to making their council an apartheid-free zone. Will they commit to boycott, divest and sanction Israel? If they don't give you a commitment to advocate for a boycott-free and apartheid-free council, do not give them your vote. Our government could be doing more. Could be, must be, should be. We will hold it account if it doesn't. It should be sanctioning Israel, kicking out the ambassador, calling out, ending any complicity in two-way arms trade. Immediately. What we just saw yesterday, 100 people in the Masawi pet massacre, is just shameful. And they're still fighting. The fascist regime marches on, aided and abetted by a compliant West. And we should know, this is how the end of empire reacts. It reacts violently and flagrantly at everything. It knows it's the end. It knows. It's our job to push it over the edge. There is not another system on earth that has this level of pathology, this level of hate, and this level of spiteful anger as the apartheid genocidal regime of Israel. It's running out with no logic. It's the death marches of the empire. They will try and destroy Palestinian society, but they will not finish us off. But if they are allowed to, then their mission will be accomplished, and everyone else that is holding those systems of power will know that they can do it too, because it doesn't matter how many people come out, it doesn't matter how many petitions get signed, it doesn't matter how many blockades happen, that they can get away with it too. That's why we have to keep coming out. The fight for Palestine is a fight for the free world. Your dedication is more important today than ever. It's more important today on week 40 than it was on week 1. It's more important next week on week 41 than it is today. Get out amongst your people, get out amongst everyone in your workplaces, in your unions, wherever it might be, and tell them to come out. We have to keep fighting. And know this, and why the world is fighting so hard against Palestine and fighting for Israel. Why they're fighting for Israel. Because when we achieve victory for the Palestinians, it will be victory for everyone. It will be the first domino and liberate all people across the world. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and everything you've done. I know you are our true believers. Yeah. I want to thank our allies. I want to thank our loud Jews for solidarity with us. I want to thank every protester, every advocate, every activist, every organizer, our nurses, our healthcare workers, our unionists, every single one of you. You've all got to keep doing it, keep shouting for Palestine. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Let's start marching! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the sea to the river! Palestine will live forever! Start walking now! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! We've got a special guest up at Parliament, so make sure you hang out to hear from him. Not going to release the surprise just yet. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the sea to the river, Palestine will live forever. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you up at Parliament.
Last Sunday, me and Matt and friend Julia, we went up to the bar, and there's no one there.
Nobody there. There was nobody there.
No. Did you go there?
No.
What was there?
The whole lot of us didn't show up. I was here, but the main crew that we usually go to the bar with weren't here, so I didn't think anybody would be at the bar. So that's why we didn't show up.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if the guy manager was wondering where it was.
We'll be there today. There's something else on later.
No, it's got so much to edit. If I have a drink, I'll see how I go. Maybe I'll just end up doing it anyway.
See how you go.
Yeah.
See you later. Don't you push yourself too hard, yeah? You've only just recovered, so... You're welcome. Shimmery. They said how hard. Oh, it's nice place. Yeah. Nice colours too. Oh, somebody put potatoes in. You've got a beard. Oh. We can't get it off. We can't get it off now. Why do we come this way?
I don't honestly step into the crowd if that isn't a bad idea.
Use your words, Chanel. There you go. Good work. Well done. A bit emotional seeing all the little ones as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, 100%.
I wish you didn't have to know about this. Yeah.
Just that. Yes.
I just gave you a message.
Oh, no, it's fine. There's lots of people moving around.
Rain, hail or shine, we march for Palestine. Rain, hail or shine.
My favourites at the moment.
Thank you, everybody. It's so great to see the crowd as well. So great to see the crowd as well. As I said back there, 40 weeks, 400 weeks, 4,000 weeks, every Sunday until liberation. Each and every Sunday, my friends, each and every Sunday. Now, my friends, during the week you would have seen undoubtedly, the manifestation of anti-Palestinian racism. Anti-Palestinian racism. We had to get an anti-Semitism on board. As if we need to create a hierarchy of racism. So connected is our government, to social cohesion that they said you can have an anti-Semitism envoy during NAIDOC week. During NAIDOC week, while they're locking up our black brothers and sisters, while they're stealing black children from black families, you can have an anti-Semitism envoy. And they're struggling to find an Islamophobia envoy. I wonder why. After one of the most violently Islamophobic weeks in federal parliament in history, they're struggling to find an Islamophobia envoy. They should be struggling because we shouldn't have one, as we shouldn't have an anti-Semitism envoy. What we need is a robust process, abundant process that allows for the protection of everyone equally. No one is special, no one is better than everyone else, we are all the same. But that anti-Palestinian racism manifests itself in so many different ways. It's banning speeches, it's in this room behind us, this hall behind us, this parliament, banning banning the kafir, banning our language. We will not be policed. Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. Yes! And that system of hate, of violence, that system of oppression has focused itself on our brother Ash. Has focused itself. It said that we are inside. That we hate. That we don't belong. Well, we're here to tell you that he and we do. He and Yes! Very critical vision. My friends, as you know, my brother Ash is a Palestinian entrepreneur and a victim of a relentless and concerted campaign of anti-Palestinian racism and hate. He remains, like our brothers in Palestine, unconquered and unbroken. A big round of
Brothers, sisters, and comrades, another Sunday, another protest, another rally. But we, the people, remain undefeated and will remain undefeated because we are stronger together. I would like to pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging, of the Wurundjeri people of the land we are on today. Today we stand at a pivotal moment in Australia's history. The events since October the 7th have unveiled the truth about Zionism. A truth that has long been obscured by manipulation and influence. Since its inception in 1897, Zionism has operated under the radar, using its powers to shape narratives and push its agenda. But October the 7th marked the turning point. They underestimated the power of social media and the power of us, the people. And as the world watched, their true nature was exposed for all to see. We witnessed a political ideology willing to build its state on the corpses of innocent men, women, and children. An ideology that spares no one, whether they are Muslim, Christian, atheist, or even Jewish. In their desperation, the Zionists have made another mistake here in Australia. They have lobbied tirelessly to have me charged with inciting serious contempt for Jews. My brothers and sisters, their influence has succeeded. They accuse me of inciting contempt, yet it is we who stand up against anti-Semitism week after week. We voice our love. We voice our love for our Jewish brothers and sisters, thanking them for standing with us. It is the Zionist community, which includes individuals from various faiths, that ostracizes Jews who do not support their murderous and genocidal ways. In their attempt to equate Judaism with Zionism, they have chosen the wrong person to test this precedent on. I will not be intimidated, nor will I back down. To the police officers who have given in to the lobbying, I ask you, why have you not arrested anyone for firebombing my house? Why did you not apprehend the man who celebrated the burning of purgatory, likening it to the smell of burning children in Gaza? How can you arrest someone that is fighting for children that are just like your own? Someone that is genuinely fighting for humanity. Judaism and Zionism are not the same. Judaism is a rich, ancient faith, embodying values of peace, justice, and compassion. Zionism, on the other hand, is a political ideology rooted in colonialism and dispossession. To conflate the two is not only misleading but dangerous, as it undermines the true essence of Judaism and alienates those Jews who oppose Zionism. Consider the story of David Miller in the UK, a humanist and scholar. He was unjustly fired for his anti-Zionist beliefs. it was found that his dismissal was unfair and that anti-Zionism qualified as a philosophical belief. His story is a testament to the distinction between legitimate criticism of a political ideology and unjust persecution for such beliefs. By pushing for my arrest, the Zionists have opened a can of worms. If I am charged, the ensuing trial will provide a platform to expose Zionism, its beliefs, aims, and crimes to the greater public. In Palestine, every act of violence breeds new waves of resistance. Similarly, in Australia and around the world, every attempt to defame and destroy us only strengthens support for the Palestinian cause. Thanks to their miscalculations and desperate attempts to silence us, the liberation of Palestine is inevitable. Yes, I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from panic attacks and depression. There are moments when I feel overwhelmed and question how much more I can endure. But then I remember that we are fighting the greatest fight of our lives, a fight to give others the chance to live a better life. We will not be remembered for our material possessions or for our status. We will be remembered for the impact we left on this world, for helping others when they needed us most, and for standing on the right side of history. I promise you, myself and our Palestinian brothers and sisters, I will not back down, I will not surrender until Palestine is free. To those who try to silence us, remember this: every attempt to break us only makes us stronger. Every lie, every act of violence, every moment of oppression brings us closer to victory. We are the voice for the voiceless, the hope of the hopeless, and the light in the darkest of times. We will rise, we will resist, and we will liberate Palestine. Let the Zionists hear our roar. Let them feel our strength, and let them know that the liberation of Palestine is inevitable. And do you know why it is inevitable? As loud as you can. One. We are the people. Two. We won't be silent. Three. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. One. We are the people. Two. We won't be silent. Three. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. One. We are the people. Two. We won't be silent. Three. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. Australia, everyone! Victory is mine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! 40 weeks, 400, 4,000 every week until Palestine is free! Each and every one of you bring somebody next week. We can't stop
We can't stop. Everything you are seeing on your screens is a minuscule of what is actually happening. It's worse. It's worse. There is no normal life when a genocide is happening. Shake the foundations of every relationship you have. If you lose a friend for Palestine, lose a job for Palestine, lose a family member for Palestine, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you are good on Palestine, you are good, and if you are shit, guess what? You are shit. And as Ash said, the foundations of this evil is a mindset of supremacy, like white supremacism, like misogyny, like the patriarchy. Zionism is white supremacy manifest.
Yes.
Zionism is racism. Know that. Judaism is not Zionism. Most Zionists are Jewish.
Yes.
Now, my friends, I want you to remember when we're here how connected we all are. We are connected for a better tomorrow. We should remember every oppressed person. Firstly, as settlers here, our black brothers and sisters. But don't forget our brothers and sisters in Aotearoa, Kanaki, our Kurdish brothers and sisters, our West Papuans, in Kashmir, our Uyghur brothers, the Uyghurs in China that are suffering. Every one of them's a Palestinian and every one of us is one of them.
Yes.
Next up, my friends, next up, Athea, who's leaving Australia for a little bit of time. She'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. Athea, who's a Melbourne artist. She's a creative director. She's a super Palestinian woman, a mother. She's a 48er. A 48er. She is someone who still lives in ancestral Palestine and carries the colonialist, the colonizer's passport, but she is not broken. She is a testament to Palestinian femininity, Palestinian women's strength. So big round of applause for Athea.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm not as strong as I normally yell at you to call Assalamu alaikum back. I would keep that energy a little bit to finish this. It's an honor to be standing with you here today. I am a refugee on a colonized land. I come from a land that occupied land. A place I once called home till it became home no more. No longer a place for dreams or haven for new memories. When water became safer than land, camps became safer than our own abodes, and prisons became safer than our cities as they lit on fire. We only ever leave home when Mandela stayed. And now, here we stand. Here we find refuge, we find respite, we find peace, we find welcome, and we find the hope. We found a home. Displaced from our own origin, just on displaced people's land, a privilege we could ill afford. We find beauty in the pollination. We find love in the working people. We find refuge in the embrace of this land. To its owners, to its custodians, to the people that carry its history, breathe its culture, and wield its future, we are grateful, we are humbled. And we forever pay our respect. I was born in Jerusalem. I was born in the most beautiful city, the city of peace, they say, but a city that never sounded. You hear me chant Intifada all the time. Intifada! 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 Well, I was born in Intifada, you see. I was breastfeed the bitter milk, full with tears from my mother. And I think that I had made that promise in biting my mother's breast and saying, I will never forget. We will never forget. That year, you wouldn't listen sentimental lullabies, or really barely putting to sleep, but songs of resistance. It's a song of resistance and power that we learned as children. The Intifada that also started in Gaza, because we free people will never accept humiliation and injustice. For years, we stand for people who were forced to leave home. Those who say that Palestinians just live financially their home, we never leave our homes. We were forced to leave it. When our women were raped, our cities and our villages were erased, that's when we left home. We always sang to the sea to calm down. I have been here 11 years, but I've always, until I came here, always sang, Haddi, ya Bahar, Haddi, like slow down, sea, we would love our people to come back. Crying every time we saw the blue and white colors filling our skies, and hold our pillows very tight when they are celebrating their liberation and their independence on our land. So tired, but you can still hear them. And they're not even like in their own, they are in the settlements just singing and dancing our songs. They're singing our songs and dancing our dakar on our land, celebrating independence that should never have happened. We never thought then that we would be living another Nakba. What is being the deadliest conflict in history? I came to Australia 11 years ago. That year, 4 children from the Bakir family were playing with the beach in Gaza while their dad was fishing, and they never made it home. Children in their 20s now have seen so many wars, and the whole genocide happening to them. That last massacre on the beach was the start of my work in Gaza. I could finally unite with my people. 12,000 miles away. Occupation separated us. When we breathed and we smelled the same breeze, we couldn't connect. I couldn't connect to people in Gaza. I couldn't connect to people in West Bank because that's what occupation do. They separate us from our people. They separate us from being united. I looked around me in Bahrain that night. I looked at the same beaches, at the children playing, and I was like wondering why our children cannot have that beach. Why can't we play safely and quietly? Why our children can't even feel like children and grow up with all this pain to carry, without safety, without their body parts, without their parents, without anything. Since then, I started so many projects in Gaza. As I was free to talk to people here, and there too, able to raise funds finally, and able to run many projects that are, of course, all destroyed now. We made the first story libraries in Gaza. 8 of them, from the north to the south. Children there and Simla beach on the beach in Gaza, together with amazing artists on the ground that many of them are gone by now. I remember my collaborator Ali calling me crying, saying, I know that people are gone, houses are destroyed, but I know that you're the only one who will understand when I cry about an art project, because I put 10 years in building it. I saw the tanks walking on it, destroying everything I've ever built. Together with his house in Shaja'iyya that was all destroyed, the whole neighborhood. For years, every time I asked Ali, let's do a humanitarian project, he would say, Atif, come on, we take care of each other in Gaza. No one really dies of hunger. But Ali himself buried so many that did. Yafa, who's one of the few people left that I know in Gaza, refused to leave. And she says, no matter what happens, I will never go from here. And Rushdie, my friend, says, I will never leave home, I will never leave Gaza back to heaven. And he did too. They're all displaced, they all have no idea where to go. Yafa was hiding in Khan Yunis, just a few meters away from where the massacre gone. What can we do? We will keep fighting! We will keep telling their stories as much as we can. Can you see all these flags that you are carrying? I grew up without the fact without the ability to hold it. I cried one day when I entered one school in the West in Melbourne, in Victoria, and saw a huge flag. We never were allowed to carry that flag at home, and we still not. We will end up in jail just for the fact that we say Palestine or Nakba or anything. We can just see black and white and blue flags all around us. I remember how I cried every time they will have it as building big and you're driving in the cities and you're seeing it and you cannot say anything because you'll end up in jail the same night.
Shame!
Of course, they will also force us to sing their liberation and independence songs just to survive. So imagine occupation is not really just to take their land, but to force their every agenda on you, to make you one of them when you are standing for your people and for your culture and for your land and for your freedom. There are things that happen in the air, in the sense, in the tremble of the fear of the children, in the smell of the gunpowder mingling with oxygen people breathe, standing for hours to get even the smallest and simplest things of things is actually a reality in Gaza. There's a stark contrast between waiting 7 hours to get a bottle of water and actually enduring these 7 hours standing in the hottest days. It's one thing to hear about children crying, and it's another when it's your children begging you for one piece of bread. There's a world of difference between hearing about the tents and living in one, if you can find it. That's why it's crucial to understand that those who merely hear cannot script a scenario or dedicate a response for those who live through these experiences. It's not about arguing them toward resilience or surrender, just because the people in Gaza, their own challenges, they know their own challenges, we don't. We're here so far away, 12,000 miles away. We cannot decide for those in Gaza that are living this occupation every day. There is a difference. There is a difference that matters deeply. There is a difference. As a mother that waited so long to see my daughter, to be called a mom, I don't know how these moms that waited for 14 years feel. When they are waited for 14 years to finally be pregnant, to finally give birth under genocide feel. Thinking of the nights that we plan our children's futures, how many millions of minutes our mothers in Gaza spend to think about their futures. How many children, how many times they make these embroidered dresses every single night to see the children wearing it in their weddings. How many of these dresses are under the rubble? How many of our mothers are under the rubble? How many children hugging their moms are under the rubble?
Shame!
Shame! If poets one day wrote that people's bodies hanging from the streets, we will think they are exaggerating. Well, yesterday, Yapa said to me that the pieces of our people's bodies are hanging from the trees. They are like fruits hanging, the fruits of the pain that these people have suffered. Today, I have a long speech, I have to go through it. Today, I stand before you to bid you farewell. My heart is very heavy, but yet helpful, and so helpful. It has been an honor and a privilege to stand alongside each of you in this crucial struggle of justice, dignity, and freedom for our people in Gaza, for Palestine. Together we raise our voices against the injustice and genocide in Gaza, against the blockade, the hunger, the occupation, for hopefully a liberation soon. In the face of adversity, your resilience and unwavering commitment have been inspiration to me personally, to countless people, other people around the world, and I'm sure Nasser will join me, and every Palestinian will say to you, thank you. I'm going to miss you all, not the police, of course. That's supposed to be supporting the Australian citizens and saving them. Instead, they're pushing every line, and they're not standing on our side. It's an invitation too, because I am a generous person, you know. It's an invitation to really choose to be in the right side of humanity, to choose to be in the right side of history, to choose to be supportive of Palestine. It's never too late, you know? Just say it. It's never too late. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Norm. I'm gonna miss you all so much. If you don't hear from me, know that I'm not going somewhere who I'm allowed to speak, but yet I'm trusting in your voices. I'm not disappearing, I'm just saving my country, slowly with my own resistance, with art. But I'm here every day with you in Sundays, in the eyes of Nasser, in the hands of Hash, in the voice of Noor. I love you all so much, thank you.
Nasir, Taylor, everyone, Nasir! Nasir! You know, they think they can break us. They think they
One song, are you singing with me? Down, Yalla. No, okay. أناديكم وأشق على وأغوص الأرض تحت نعالكم وأقول أفيكم أناديكم وأشق على أياديكم وأغوص الأرض تحت نعالكم وأقول أفيكم أناديكم وأشق على أياديكم تحت نعالكم سوف نبقى هنا كي يزول الألم سوف نحيا هنا سوف يحلو النغم موطني 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 ذا الإباء موطني 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 أنا. Last one. القدس عكا نحن ولاية في غزة نحن وقلب جنين الواحد منا يذهل ولا لن تدخل فينا ورقة دين ما هان الحق عليه ولا خاف عودتنا our coming back إيمان ويقين we will be back.
We shall return. We shall return. Now, my friends, we're finishing up now, but remember, we're going to be here every single Sunday. Get everyone you know, get them out, get loud, get proud for Palestine. Now, earlier on, I spoke about the genocide in Bosnia. We've got a survivor of the genocide here. 29 years ago in Bosnia, in Rwanda as well, in Palestine. We won't forget those that are on our side, but we won't forget those that enabled it. We will not forget those that enabled it. As our Bosnian brothers and sisters are here today, raising up their flags and being out with us. We have to be here for everyone who is oppressed, whenever they may be, wherever they may be. Don't let political expedience stop us. Today, Australia trades with Indonesia as our strongest partnership in the Pacific. But they look away what's happening in West Papua. Shame! They look away what's happening all over the world with China, what they're doing to the Uyghurs. Turkey, what's happening with the Kurds. Shame! We're all Palestinians. In our thousands, in our millions. We are all Palestinians. Now I want you to take some hope, my brothers and sisters. If you tear a Palestinian into pieces, each and every piece will resist. Each and every piece. Each piece could go on fighting in and of itself. Yes. It's ingrained in every bit of our DNA. We are unconquerable and unbreakable. You saw our sisters here. It's not only our will, but the will of all Indigenous
around the world. But wherever we went, we were seized. They could send us to another planet. We would find a way to resist and get back here and get back to Palestine. Zionists want to liquidate Palestine, and we're here to tell you, you will never succeed. Zionism is racism. Zionism is hate. Palestine is love. Palestine is embrace. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
We were born in Palestine. We were Palestine. We are Palestine. We will always be Palestine. Each and every one of you is Palestinian, my brothers and sisters. In our thousands, in our millions. We are all Palestinians. In our thousands and in our millions. We are all Palestinians. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next Sunday. Next Sunday and every Sunday. One. Two. Three.
Stop the bombing now!
One.
We are the people!